Three accomplishments of JEdgar Hoover's included being the first head of the FBI, being credited with making the FBI what it is today, and writing a book that inspired movies. Hoover was important during the 1920s because he helped found the FBI and was the director of the agency for 55 years. During this time, he made the FBI into sort of the scientific crime-fighting organization that it is today. He recruited a force of men known as the G-Men. The G-Men were pictured by society as sleuths that used the latest technology and were really clever and clean-cut. Hoover wanted them to be the guardians of civic good. One theme that I think Hoover represents would be public life as private life. I think this because he had a lot of things about him publicized. For example, there were a lot of rumors about his sexuality. He was said to be having a relationship with his colleague and eventual heir, Clyde Tolson. This was a significant rumor and a big part of his life. JEdgar Hoover was in office for 55 years. Also, he wrote a book which was turned into two movies, Queen of the Mob and Parole Fixer. He also narrated the prologue in Next of Kin. These movies had a big impact on society because they provided a role model that gave a sense of safety for people to look up to. Hoover did not demonstrate a fear of the future. He lived in the present of the 1920s. He had to live in the present because he had to pay attention to everything around him and build a government agency that gave a sense of security. During the 1920s, Hoover was outer-oriented because he had to keep his eye on things around the world. He was also inner-oriented because he had to keep his eye on internal affairs. He wanted to lead both domestic and foreign affairs. The modern individual that best compares to Hoover is James Comey. I think he's the best match because he is the current director of the FBI, and they were both very controversial. They were both in positions of great power and could easily influence the lives of the public individuals. From this project, I learned that you can be a very popular or powerful person, but that will never save you from public opinion. If I lived in the 1920s, I wouldn't be friends with Hoover because probably spending all of his time working. He didn't have a wife or kids, so he was probably kind of a lonely guy, and all he did was his work.